Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Pindari and today we will talk about the Mahabodhi protest. The Mahabodhi Mahavihar in Bodh Gaya, Bihar is where the Buddha is believed to have attained enlightenment. Is at the center of a growing nationwide protest led by the Buddhist monk, Dalit right groups and social justice activists. The protest is raising powerful concerns. Why are Brahmanical forces managing one of the holiest Buddhist sites in the world? Why hasn't full control of the Vihar returned to the Buddhists even after 75 years of Indian independence? Let's break down what's really happening in Bodh Gaya and why this protest exposes deep cracks in India's secular and caste reality. This UNESCO World Heritage Site was built by the great Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, the same Ashoka who renounced violence and became a devout Buddhist. But by the 16th century, the management of the temple fell under Brahmanical control. Mahabodhi became Bodh Gaya Mutt, a Hindu monastery. Since then, the space has been reshaped with Brahmanical rituals, which go directly against the Buddha's teaching. In the 1800s, international Buddhist resistance began. Buddhist monks from Sri Lanka and Japan formed the Bodh Gaya Society to get back control. Even the British colonizers could not fix this issue. In 1903, Viceroy Lord Curzon tried and failed to negotiate a deal between both the sides. And after independence, one would expect justice. Instead, a shared control was enforced, forcing Buddhists to split the temple with the very people who overtook it. The Bodh Gaya Temple Act of 1949 was passed by the Bihar government. This act created the Bodh Gaya Temple Management Committee of 1953 of 8 members, made up of 4 Hindus and 4 Buddhists, with a district magistrate as a tiebreaker and as a ninth member. Here is the twist though. Until 2013, that DM had to be a Hindu. This particular clause was amended in 2013 and now the district magistrate does not need to be from a particular religion. According to News Laundry, the management committee currently has 6 members, 2 Hindus, 4 Buddhists and 2 vacant posts. In 2012, 2 Buddhist monks filed a petition in the Supreme Court to repeal the act, but that case has not even been heard even after 13 years. One might assume that a threat to the existence of this religious site is not a priority. In February of this year, Buddhist monks began a peaceful hunger strike at the Mahavir. They demand repeal the 1949 Act and give full control of the Vihar to the Buddhists. But instead of dialogue, the Bihar police responded with a midnight crackdown, forcibly removing the monks and shifting them 2 kilometers away from the Vihar. This has caused an outrage. Now the protest has spread to Mumbai, Mysore, Ladakh, Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and many other parts of the country. Supporters from all over India are gathering to the protest sites to express solidarity. The protest has garnered support from Dalit Buddhist communities, Buddhist Society of India, Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, Republican Party of India, and international Buddhist associations from Sri Lanka, Thailand, Japan, and Mongolia. However, the main political parties of India remain silent on this issue. For the protesters, the movement is not just about a temple, it's about religious autonomy, caste injustice, and cultural erasure. They demand repeal of the 1949 Act, full Buddhist control over temple management, and end to state interference in Buddhist affairs. The All India Buddhist Forum has proposed to form the Bodh Gaya Mahabodhi Mahavihara Chaitra Trust, completely run by Buddhists, dedicated to preserving Dhamma purity, training bhikkhus, teach Buddhist values, provide Dhamma education, community welfare services, mediation centers. The Buddhist protesters allege a Brahmanical takeover of the Vihar, imposition of Brahmanical values inside the Buddhist shrine, installation of a Shiv Linga post 1996 with false claims of ancient committee members performing non-Buddhist practices like ringing bells and burning incense, and efforts to Hinduize Buddha by calling him an avatar of the Vishnu. They are also concerned about funding. The Buddha rejected Brahmanical rituals, yet they are being imposed on his shrine. The All India Buddhist Forum says that the committee, instead of making efforts to spread Buddha's teaching, are disrespecting the sanctity of the place. In an interview with The Wire, an All India Buddhist Forum member alleged that a Shiv Linga installed inside the Mahavihara was never seen before 1996, but the temple management committee is trying to convince everyone that it was always there. In a scroll article, a person associated with the Buddhist Society of India expressed his displeasure with the growing infiltration of Brahman members, their rituals and practices in the temple. As for him, Buddha taught us to guard against superstitions, but it is exactly the opposite that is being practiced there. The General Secretary of All India Buddhist Forum, in an interview with The Wire, questions if demanding their own space and control of their own religion, like every religion, is too much. Having the legal control of the vihara also means monetary control. In a scroll article, the General Secretary of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi pointed out, since the Vihar is sacred to Buddhists across the world, it gets fund from Indian government and international Buddhist groups in Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, and other countries. He questioned then why they are not involved in its management. In an interview with Al Jazeera, the Hindu priest in charge of the mud described the agitations as politically motivated to influence the upcoming state elections. He sees Buddha as a Hindu deity, the ninth incarnation of Vishnu, and considered Buddhists as brothers. That Hindus has been generous in allowing 4 seats to Buddhists in the management committee, that they are never disallowed Buddhists from practicing on their premises and even host Buddhist devotees from other countries. He claimed, if we repeal the act, then the temple will solely belong to the Hindus side because we owned it before the act and the independence. Speaking of Dalit groups, we cannot ignore the caste angle. One can easily call it for what it is: Brahmanical colonization of a minority's faith, holiest. Right. Anti-caste discourse is central to this protest. Historically, Dalits have been considered untouchables by the Brahmins and the so-called upper caste. Dalits were not allowed to drink water from wells and enter temples. It is only because of anti-caste leaders like Ambedkar that Dalits have formal equal rights in the Indian constitution. Just in the beginning of this April, a Ram temple in Alwar, Rajasthan was purified with Ganga water by a leader of the ruling party after a Dalit opposition leader visited the temple. The leader doing the purification ritual justified it by saying that purifying the temple was important as some impure people have entered the premises. Ambedkar and his followers' conversion to Buddhism was a move against caste hierarchy, an oppression that is entrenched in Brahmanical Hinduism. But today, the same Brahmanical forces have taken over the religious sect. And while it may seem like the temple is under equal management, we need to remember that the tiebreaker until recently was supposed to be a caste Hindu. In most of the temple management committees in India, including in Bodh Gaya, Brahmins are the ones appointed to the post. Historically, Brahmanical religious scriptures have criticized Buddha and Buddhist philosophy. The Mahabharata referred to Magadha, that is the contemporary region of Bihar, as the land of sinners. As Dr. Vilas Karat, a current leader of the movement, told Mugnayaka, that Brahmin temple committee members ring bells and burn incense in the main temple, and Buddha statues are falsely being linked to the Pandavas. He also referred to 2 Brahmin kings who allegedly offered rewards for the heads of Buddhist monks and nuns and destroyed the Bodhi tree. The current event, he says, are a part of the same legacy of erasing Buddhist identity and culture, and called the takeover unconstitutional and against international cultural laws. Buddhists are a minority religion in India. The protesters claim that the Temple Act violates Article 25, freedom of religion, Article 26, right to manage religious affairs, Article 29 and 30, minority rights of the Indian Constitution. Sikhs manage gurudwaras, Christians manage their churches, Hindus manage their temples, and Muslims manage mosques. So why do Buddhists need Hindu supervision? Buddhists should control their own sites. Maharashtra President of the All India Independent Scheduled Caste Association, in a scrolled article, reiterated that the very reasoning behind the Temple Act is also Brahmanical. He pointed out that all the major political parties, including the ruling coalition and the opposition, are silent about the protest. And he is not wrong in his belief about state and the media silence. The government has yet to take any concrete steps to address the issue. No statements from major political parties have been given. Mainstream media has been largely absent from the protest site. Court cases filed in 2012 has not been heard. Even when asked for comments, representatives from both the ruling coalition told News Laundry that they are not even aware of the issue. The opposition spokesperson said that the government should reconsider the protest demand and reach, quote, a practical solution. So far, only the Dalit Bahujan political parties like the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, Republican Party of India, and the Azad Samaj Party has supported the protest. According to Muknayak, the protesters accused state authorities and Brahmanical elements of ongoing harassment, noise disruptions, intimidation, and police action. In a wire interview, the General Secretary of the All India Buddhist Forum laments media silence due to the upper caste gatekeeping in editorial rules. With elections approaching in Bihar, the Buddhist community has made it clear that if their demands are not being met, they will not vote against the current incumbent chief minister. Dr. Vilas Karat noted in Muknayak that despite their long protests, chief minister has not met them yet. He says despite the CM's claim for his love for Buddhism, the government has not made efforts to engage in dialogue. All shades of political parties have felt proud of India's historical Buddhist past. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru believed in Panchashil. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks reverently silently of Lord Buddha, attends Buddhist events, and promotes the East Look policy. Most of our eastern neighbors are Buddhist countries. India's image as the land of Buddha is internationally respected, yet domestically, the Buddhist followers face disrespect and exclusion. In an ideal world, there should not be a political party which will openly oppose handing over the greatest Buddhist shrine to the Buddhist community. Coming to my personal thought, yes, the protest is political and rightly so. In India, religion and politics are deeply intertwined. The politics of religion threatens to swallow every minority faith. The Hindu priest saying that the repealing the 1949 Act would give Hindus full control seems like an admission that this is not about shared management, it is about occupation. This is a systematic takeover of the Buddhism by Brahmanism. Ashok, India's greatest Buddhist ruler, built this Vihar, but Brahmanical forces took it over centuries ago, and today the ecosystem enforces the same takeover using legal tricks, police power, and the highest court of the law. This is not coexistence, it is caste supremacy cloaked in legality. The protesters are not against any religion, and neither am I, the maker of this video. They want to preserve a place that is sacred to them. If India truly honors Buddha, then why deny their followers their dignity and space? Well, folks, that's all I have for this video. Please do consider to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.